Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 81 of the 9 to 5 Fitness Podcast. We've got a big one today, an incredibly exciting one. If you're new here, my name's Louis. I'm the co-host of the 9 to 5 Fitness Podcast. I'm joined with Anabolic Gabe. Gab, how are you? How did you sleep?
Mate, I'm fantastic and I'm really excited for this one. We'll get into why we got him on and why we love his story so much and why we just wanted to have a chat to him. But mate, I'm really good. I slept really good. I was pretty crook during the week. I thought my days were numbered at that point.
Yeah, it looked like
Weird thoughts were going through my head. I was like, is there something wrong with me? But anyway, I'm back now somehow. How are you? How'd you sleep, mate?
Very well. I'm even better. I slept very well. I'm even better now that we have Jesse Toniolo on the podcast. Jesse, mate, how are you? How did you sleep?
Guys, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I slept pretty well. I've been trying this new 5 a.m. wake up thing.
Ooh.
And it's interesting. Some mornings better than others. Yeah, last night was okay. It was all right.
What's your tips for waking up 5 a.m. consistently?
You have to be in bed at like 8:39.
Oh, literally.
That's number one tip.
Yeah. And do you like put screens away or anything before that?
Yeah, I'm not too strict. Like I sleep with my phone out of my room. I think that's a big one. So like when the alarm goes off, it's like in the living room and like I got to get up, you know.
Yeah.
Cut that alarm, but. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Screen maybe like half an hour off before bed.
Yeah. So what, you getting your 8 hours every night, you reckon?
Yeah. I'd like to think so. Like, you know, sleep by like 9, up at 5.
Yeah.
That's one of the
This
things.
is the podcast, right? 9 to 5?
Yeah. Bang on, mate.
Shit.
Or 5 to 9.
Yeah, what hour are you
actually
getting?
impressed.
6 to 4?
Yeah.
So
9 p.m, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a new interpretation. No wonder we got such a creative
it's
guy.
such a
That's a new
deep-
interpretation.
I'll
of 9
take
to
it.
5.
I'll take it.
I love it.
But like sleeping like that is one of the things that does take the most discipline. Like there's all these other things you can be disciplined with, but actually like being disciplined with sleep and doing everything to make sure your sleep is good is like, it might seem so obvious, but there's a lot of things that go into it that require a lot of discipline.
And you get so much more done when you're waking up at 5
for sure. I think up at like 5, there's no one. It's that typical thing. There's like no one there to contact you, so that you can do those tasks that you know you can just zone in on, which is really beneficial. And I can't believe how tired I get at like 7, 8 o'clock. Like I am ready to fall asleep.
Yeah. Get away from
Such a good feeling, like, you know, and I feel like, yeah, because there are a lot of people that make it like their personality trait. Oh, look, I get up at 5 a.m. And then I have an argument being like, everything is relative. Like you can achieve the same amount of stuff if you get up at midday. But I don't know, there is something about like your mentality and just crushing through tasks, which I think is different. And so long as you're not making it like a personality trait, I think it's huge.
Yeah, it is my personality, to be honest. Before we get further into this, for those who don't know, Jesse Toniolo is the co-founder of PushPull, which was founded in 2019 based off the back of thrifting.
Correct.
From my research.
That's all over it.
An incredible brand and honestly something we're both super inspired by. Like the community that was created and so on is just like really inspiring to watch. And we are very glad you're on the podcast, mate. So
thank you.
Do you have anything you want to tell us about yourself? Like what do we need to know?
Favorite colors?
Yeah, favorite color is blue. I mean, I'm wearing blue jeans as well. But no, I'm a pretty straight up guy. Like, you know, I guess I'm pretty lucky that both my parents are very creative. Mum and dad were artists growing up and still are. So anyone that's ever been to my house, there's no white walls, just paintings everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. And that's been a huge catalyst for like, I guess why I'm creative, I think. One of my brothers is an actor, the other one's a graphic designer. So
oh wow,
yeah, a lot of creativity flying around.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
That is for sure. Yeah, it's funny how that works because both my parents worked on radio and now I'm running a podcast. So
shit.
What do yours do?
I don't know how rocked up you. I swear everyone that listens to the podcast hates me. They're like Lewis needs his own podcast, and then when you do the podcast yourself, they're like, we need Gab back. So it's like,
what do they want?
Yeah, make up your mind.
Can't
but I don't know. I just ended up on a podcast.
Fair enough.
Which is crazy because like Jesse and I went to school together, which is absolutely crazy. He was a year above me. We both came to Caulfield Grammar at the same year, and we somehow ended up in business management together.
We were starting business.
Because I was in year 10.
Gab the square. He wouldn't have spoken much.
And when I did, I remember how high my voice was.
Yeah, actually, that's what I do remember. Gab would sit in this, I remember like out the back, and he just had this like squeaky voice. Yeah, it's kind of it's about all I remember. You've changed a lot.
Oh, there's going to be some more insights there.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it was so... I don't know if I've like glowed up at all, but
The
I
chapter is
was
closed.
like, I swear I was the ugliest teenager. I had the highest voice, like, just like girl repellent. Like literally, no one would want it. Yeah. Anyway,
You're making up for it now, mate. Now we've got some quick fire questions.
No, hang on. I want to chat about business with Jesse, because we somehow ended up in the same class, and like that was very much my realm. Actually, we'll get into it more later, but that was very much my realm. And I did not pick you. I just thought you were like a footy guy trying hard in school. So that's why I was like so surprised. But obviously, I didn't know you very well as like the creative individual that you are. Like, were you always like that creative during high school as well?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think being in like, you know, sporty footy circles, like I sort of suppressed a lot of my creativity, I think. You know, I wasn't really an advantage or, you know, something that people wanted to see. They just wanted to see you like train and, you know, carry on and play football, I guess. So there's definitely something on in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it kind of was suppressed at that age.
Yeah, and we were even saying like, we have the set out topics later in the podcast, but even like, to be honest, like there were way better electives we could have picked in school that would have suited what we're both doing now, that we would have like been, why would we do that? Like, for example, like media or even like drama or something like that would be so much more helpful than, I don't want to like diss Bizman because I actually did learn a lot from it, but there were probably like other electives that we could have swapped it out for. But we'll get into those topics later, speak about them in a lot of depth. Quick fire questions. I need you to carry this, mate.
Yep. Quick fire questions. Who's your hero?
My hero, what should roll off the tongue? Well, I'm named after Jesse Owens and I share a birthday with him.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll roll with that.
Love it. Who do you go for in footy?
The Cats.
Oh, the Catters. Very good.
Yep.
I got one.
On for it. Yeah, you go.
Oh, wait. I hate John beat us. Yeah. They're too good. But anyway, favourite clothing brand?
That's tough. I'm going to roll with Kid Super. Yeah, it's a brand out in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's strong. Have you been in the States?
I have, yep. I've been 5 times. Yeah.
5 times. Must be nice.
Yeah.
Jealous. Look at him go. Favourite meal?
Favourite meal? Ooh, I always find this hard, but I'm going to go like a burrito.
Burrito. Biggest fear?
Ooh, biggest fear. Oh, God. Biggest fear of mine would be maybe having regrets at the end of my life.
Preach.
It's deep and accurate.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Favourite travel destination?
Favourite travel destination would be the States.
Yeah, fair.
Whereabouts in the States?
Ooh,
Brooklyn.
I'm going to go Boston.
Oh, cool.
That's good. Not where you went, mate. Favourite meal? Have we done that? No.
Yeah, we have answered that. We can go again, though.
Yeah,
We've got a few favourite meals.
Favourite movie is on it.
Favourite movie is Stand By Me.
Oh, who's that?
It's an 80s movie with like River Phoenix. It's a bit of like an old classic.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
That's all I got for.
Sorry,
Quick
you contributed one question.
Yep.
there.
Anyway, it's a good start. You did just get back from travels, mate.
I did.
It was fun watching your travels on your Instagram.
Lovely.
Tell us about it. Where'd you go? What'd you do?
I was in Vietnam, so it was a real it was a real unreal trip. But that makes no sense. It was an amazing trip. The weather was just, you know, straight up amazing. I don't know if it's getting colder in Melbourne or what the hell's going on, but I can't deal with it. I don't know. Am I getting weaker? I'm not sure what it is, but getting to Vietnam like 30, 35, you know, degrees every day was a blessing. Beers are like 50 cents a dollar.
How good.
Food's like $2-3, and it's like better than the food here, so you can't lose.
Yeah.
Were the banh mi's better over there or better here?
Wow, there's like a bit of a debate with people I've
seen,
had.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with there purely because they're like $1 or $2, and I'm like a value guy. You know, like even if it doesn't taste like a 10 out of 10, if it was $1, like you can't expect it to taste like a 10. But it's like an 8, where you could pay like $13 here and it might be like a 10. But I'm not paying $13. I'm paying the $1.
We do kind of take it for granted in Melbourne, like traveling a lot. We're like, oh, there's all this good food, but like, I know America's not a particularly good example. Where like the food is abysmal there.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of fine restaurants and stuff that are just like your average quality in Australia because like our produce is so good, or at least in Melbourne. So we are spoilt for choice here.
Facts.
Except in like America, the pizza, or like New York, the pizza's way better.
Yeah.
I don't know how the banh mi's are. Sounds like they're pretty even, but like I often hear people say you can go to like the actual country where the food originates, but Melbourne is likely to actually have it like do it better, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I think we're so multicultural that like, you know, the Vietnamese people making the food are like, you know, real Vietnamese, like, you know, probably came here only recently. So it's like, I don't know, even like all nationalities and cultures. So it's like really pure from the culture, and I find that to be like the reason the taste is amazing.
So you're in Vietnam for 3 weeks?
Yeah, nearly 4. Yeah.
Yep. And so you're traveling around.
Yeah.
Which parts?
I started in Saigon, which is like the capital.
Yeah.
And then, so that's right at the bottom. And then I moved up to Hanoi, which is like another place to go. And then, And then I finished up in Hoi An, which was
nice.
Sort of like Torquay almost, or like a coastal town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one in the middle, like with the old town?
Yeah.
I think
that's Hanoi. So Hoi An, it's the most confusing thing. Hanoi and Hoi An are 2 different places.
Yeah.
They're like spelled almost the same.
Yeah, a bit of a mixture. So where was your favourite spot?
I did get a little, I loved Hoi An, which was like coastal, but I did get a little bit of a bad stomach being there. Like the food's a little dodgy. I'll go with like Ho Chi Minh, the main city.
Yep.
We were visiting a lot of clothing factories out there, so that was kind of where the best factories were. So from a business standpoint, it was cool.
And we'll get into that in a bit. Have you done Vietnam, Gab?
Yeah, but with parents, like I'd like to do it again with mates or by myself or something like that. Just parents overpaying for everything and you get 25% of the experience. I reckon it's a really bad way to explore a country, to be honest.
Handy when you're there though when you're young.
Yeah, I reckon like the best way, I don't know if they, obviously you have like motorbikes and scooters in Southeast Asian countries, but like best way to explore a country or a city these days is with like those Lime scooters or e-bikes. Literally, it's a genuine hack now, and I suppose it's only come about in the last few years. Like New York, before you would have had to walk it, or unless you're ahead of the game. Now you can just like go on an e-bike and explore the whole city in a day.
It's crazy.
And like obviously Southeast Asia, you'd already have the Vespa scooters, but best way to explore, I'd say.
Did you get on the bikes?
I tried. I got in Hanoi, like when Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, like the real main city, so we stayed way off the bike there. Like you're dead set gonna die if you jump on the bike. Like I'm convinced. In Hoi An, it's a lot quieter, so I try. I'd never ridden one though.
Oh really?
Yeah, I know. Like show my like city colours right there. Like,
city slicker.
Yeah, I know. I like to say I'm not, but in that moment, I jumped on and I was like wonky and I'm like, nah, this isn't me. So I jumped on the back of my mate rode it. So it wasn't my proudest moment.
Yeah, fair. Oh, that sucks.
Don't you remember when you were there, like just when you see the like at least Ho Chi Minh City, just seas of bikes, and they somehow work it out all together, like the roundabouts, trying to merge into that. It's like you just got to go and ask questions later.
Yeah. It's built different. Yeah.
Same with crossing the roads. Did you?
Yeah, wild. Yeah, it's the roads are just crazy. Yeah, crossing.
You just got to go.
You just got to head down. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. The weather sounds incredible. Now you guys went to school together, which we touched on for a second there.
Was there anything more to chat about there? No, we somehow were in the same class 2 years in a row.
Well, it was 2 years in a row.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure we did the 3-4.
I think we did,
both years with Rod Moran.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
Did you have him the second year as well?
I reckon I did, yeah.
Did you like him?
Oh, maybe I had Mr. Farah. I don't think I had him, actually.
Really? I swear you were in my class.
I think like we were all in the library or some shit like that. Like, I think it was just like a mix and match. I don't know though. We could have been.
Yeah.
We definitely.
Because I remember there were all these like people in the year above, and I was already struggling in my own year, and I get thrown in class with the kids a year above. I think
you would be shit yourself.
It was terrible.
A lot happening.
There was a lot happening. I feel for all the teenagers that listen to this podcast. Like those years were terrifying for me. I'd literally just my outlet would be studying, and trying to do well in the sacs and whatnot.
Fair. So you start, always school in Melbourne, playing footy and stuff, creative side, both parents artists. Yep. How did you express yourself creatively when you were in school? Yeah, so for me at about 12, 13, I just fell in love with the op shops, like thrifting. It was probably my most creative outlet, and it was sort of like the start of social media in a sense, like, you know, you're looking at like all the different sort of cultures, like especially America and like what they're wearing, and at that time, sort of like Polo, Nike, Nautica, those types of brands, Tommy Hilfiger. So I'd just go to op shops and essentially just like take my pocket money, like $5, $10. And back in those days, that would actually get you like 2 or 3 things at an op shop. You know? Nowadays, like op shops are more expensive than like David Jones. So I don't know. Literally.
It's crazy.
Where were the hot spots that you'd go to? Because I know a lot of them are just, you can search for hours and there's nothing.
Oh, I can't do it.
Where were your favourite spots?
So like the secret with like op shops thrifting, no one likes this answer, but it's the truth, is you just have to go there like every day. So I promise you, like every spot would actually be half decent. Well, maybe not every spot, but most op shops are decent. It's just it's probably getting like cleared out before you get there.
Yeah.
And if you go in there like once a month, like it's pretty much just like a gamble, you know, like a really bad gamble, because it would have probably been cleaned out ages before. But if you're there every day, you'll see the racks get all the new things come onto them.
Aren't there certain days when they like do the big restocks
Yeah.
at the op shop?
This is true.
Keep showing up.
Yeah, I volunteered at like 15, 16 just to like figure out the system.
Really?
Yeah.
You did as well?
I did, and I didn't want to share this story, but I will now. I remember the first day, like it was...
You stole something, didn't you?
No. This junkie came in and he was putting all this stuff under his thing, and the owner of the shop wanted me to stand in front. And I was 15, and I'm like, I'm not getting paid for this. I just stood there like shaking like this while she like roasted him. But you get all sorts in op shops.
Oh, you really do. Yeah, you see it.
But I remember like the big savers in... Where is it? The one we used to go to?
Brunswick?
Nah, it's other side. Moorabbin.
Around Moorabbin. I swear it's like Heatherton. That had like a certain restock day, and we'd go then, and there'd be like good pickups. But like those Brunswick ones, I don't know how it was when you went, but when I went a few years ago, it was more expensive than the shops. Like they know they're good.
Yeah, that Savers Brunswick. That was probably actually the best back about 2012 era. Like that was proper amazing, because there was no like on that scale. You had like 20 puffer jackets, so like you're bound to find like one good one. So I guess like from a creative standpoint and from like a business standpoint, I would just buy like a Nike spray jacket for like $5, sell it for $30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I just made $25 at 13, you know what I mean? And
that's sick.
It's so much money when you're young. Like $25 gets you like a crazy amount of like Zappos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot. So I was just doing that so it started like really just, taking it home, posting on like, there's little Facebook kind of group chats there. Then I ended up making my own page. I'll never forget, it was called Cheap Clothing Australia.
Nice.
And my logo was Biggie Smalls holding $1 like bill. And I was like, that was the coolest thing ever.
Was it big?
It had like 1,000 likes. Like,
maybe
whatever.
I would have seen it back in the day.
You guys might have seen it back in the day.
Oh, lock, for sure. I feel like I remember it.
It was like, it was funny, because then there was like a million of those. Like I reckon I was in early, but then there was like, Bentley cheap, but like just the suburb, like Melbourne cheap clothing.
Dogs, mate.
I was like, nah, come on, guys. Yeah. But at that stage, I did that till about 15, and then I sort of exited on the clothing, because one day, me and my friend, we used to sit at the back class on an iPad and just like go through like eBay. Yeah. Somehow we stumbled onto Alibaba, thinking like, what the hell's this? And we found these silver and gold Casio watches, like, the ones that everyone wears today. Yeah. And we're like, oh my God, like, let's just buy in these like fake Casios for $2 each and sell them for 20.
Smart.
So we because if they're $2 each, and you have $100, $200, you're getting like 50, 100 watches.
Unreal.
So it was like, good going. And then we somehow we were just jumping on transactions to like everywhere to like meet up with randoms.
Really?
Just selling them.
I reckon private school markup as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, when you're hitting a private school, you just go off a little bit, maybe $30 a watch. But the funniest thing was the gold watches actually started rubbing off. So it was kind of just everything was silver, and there's a few angry customers, but
no returns. Sorry.
Literally no returns. But just those little hustles, man. A lot of that stuff growing up.
I reckon, because I remember I did like quite a bit of that with like video games and borderline scamming kids.
It's.
Did you ever do anything like that?
Nah. I feel like I might have. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I used to ride horses and buy them for cheap and then sell them for more.
But even, I feel like that early hustle is like, those are like invaluable skills to bring towards like a successful business. And I don't want to go full like, you need to be doing this at this age. You need to be sleeping for 2 hours a night and grinding this much. But like, that, I feel like that early hustle, I don't know, you can bring that towards like actually doing well in the future.
Well, we get asked all the time by kids and stuff like, what do I need to do to like be able to have 9-to-5 fitness when I'm 24? Right. And it's like, well, you just need to kind of start going with things.
You need parents that don't give you much, and you need to figure out a way to make your own money.
No, for sure. I think it's just like, the message isn't in the money at all, because it's like nothing. It's more just that mentality, isn't it? Like you're willing to jump on a train to like Campbell Station and you've never been there, and just to get $20. But so if you bring that mindset into when you're 20 and you have more resources, i.e., maybe you have a part-time job, so you could buy like a podcast setup if you saved up for it. Then it's that mentality that'll get you through.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So after you're selling watches, what did you move on to then? Like, did you go back to clothes or?
Yeah, I had one more cheeky little venture. So I'd moved schools to Caulfield, and so my ties were sort of done, with like in the watch world. And I bumped into this kid. We're chatting one day, probably in business class. And he's like, yeah, I love like Louis Vuitton and like old bags. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I've actually sold a few. I was like, no way. I was like, how's it work? Like, let's go into business. Like, when I say business, like no ABN, like this is like our business is eBay,
Yeah.
And cold hard cash on our parents' like card type shit.
Yeah.
So we, he was pretty smart. Like he knew how to like verify the bags with like, the little codes on the inside.
Wait, did he go to Caulfield this bloke?
He did.
Are you able to disclose a name?
We can disclose names. Shout out Josh Harris if you remember him. He's pretty.
Was he lanky?
Yeah, tall lanky guy. Yeah.
Like pasty.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember.
Keep going with it.
Yeah. But I don't know. We would have sold like maybe like max 10 bags, but we were making like $100 a bag. So just those little hustles again. Not the money, but the mentality to like put in time, figure out how to make a little markup. It's so like I wouldn't say like go do it. I think if you're young, you just need to look at what you do a lot of. And for me, it was just like in fashion, but it could be like someone could be reselling surfboards or anything, like if you're passionate.
Well, that's a thing, like with the new world, and we'll chat about it later, but like content creation is available to anyone with a phone, really.
100%.
Like, and it's more just about putting yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, with your like businesses and stuff, did you ever come across any like kind of adversity in terms of putting yourself out there? I know like footy guy being artistic, like they just don't match up. Like how did you kind of scratch that itch?
That's a really good question. For me, it was like, there's like an imaginary line and you just sort of need to cross it and know how it's like a passion line. And if you're passionate enough about what you're doing, I see it with you guys and your content, it's like you're willing to go and like put yourself out and, do all those things because you're so passionate. And, if anyone meets you, they'll go, oh, wait, these guys are passionate. Like maybe they're like, doing some things that might scratch the public a certain way. But if they actually, get talking to you, they see like the decency and the pride about what it is. So I think that was just, it was a tough one, I guess just juggling like sport and like football and stuff and knowing that was my thing. Like I was wearing like Dunks in like 2017, 18.
Yeah.
And like, people were like, what's that skate thing on your feet? Like at the footy club.
They're not TNs.
I was getting some looks,
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like really give a shit. And then not to be that guy, but like 5 years later, I see these like photos of like footy clubs and everyone's in Dunks.
Everyone.
And I'm like, fuck you guys. And I love it. I'm like, cool. But I like, not to go into the shoe market, but I think that's very saturated. Like I've kind of lost my love for sneakers a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like back then, you'd find like a Dunk and it'd be like special and like that wasn't, going to be this thing. But now like they're dropping like Dunks like every week, Jordans. And I promise you, even 2-3 years ago, it was like one Dunk, one Jordan, maybe a month, maybe every few weeks. Now it's like multiple Jordans and Dunks every weekend, all year round. It's like, I can't keep up.
Yeah. Mate, that's unreal. I think it's so like refreshing to be around someone who's kind of not necessarily same trajectory, but just like same kind of mindset.
Well,
especially
it's a big reason why I wanted to have Jesse on for so long is because like no disrespect to anyone I went to school with, like like no hard feelings or anything, but Jesse's one of the only people like I know that's doing something different, kind of like us. And like there's this whole private school bubble of everyone tries to get as good ATAR as possible, does well in sports, at least that's what I knew. Then they go and do commerce at Melbourne or Monash, and then they go get a job at the Big Four, and it's like, geez, any danger doing something different? And like no hate if that's what you do, and I hope you enjoy working 120 hours a week for someone else, but like I really do. Like, sorry. That's why I wanted to chat to Jesse because like he's like, to be honest, we've got an apparel line, but we're two numb nuts and we don't know what we're doing, but it somehow sells. This guy actually knows what he's doing and he makes like the sickest stuff. And I wanted to talk to him about how he's made that work and like how his experience has been veering away from that kind of private school clone mold type thing. I don't know if we want to get into that now, but
yeah, we do. Well, let's plug our own products first, because we got to keep a roof over our head.
Obviously, inflation, all of that, taxes, knocking on the door.
The tax man.
Yeah, tax man, we hate him. Mate, we've just done a big restock today. it's not actually physically here, but we've done a pre-order so you guys can actually buy it first. Because yeah, but I'm pretty excited for it. So we get heaps of questions. Jesse, if you don't know, our most popular item is our shorts. We should become a shorts company.
Yeah, we should stick to shorts, to be honest.
You just literally do shorts. That's why we've ordered so many more in more colors, because they sell like absolute hotcakes. And we've ordered more like the really popular sizes. So they're going to be in stock in 3 to 4 weeks. So if you want to get those, you can put an order in now. And I'd recommend doing that early, because people literally buy 10 pairs to stock up for their wardrobe, because literally no other shorts in terms of like active wear. They're just wearing about really compare. So put in your orders now. Some other items that are on that pre-order list. We got an off-white beanie as well. I think that's going to have a black logo. I think the black beanie sold out now as well. We've done a restock of the compound tanks. We got a new masculine pink color in the mix there as well.
Yep.
Any other items? Oh yeah, the most, what's the word? Like anticipated one, the beaters. Let's call it. They will be coming in 3 to 4 weeks as well. In black and white, we're calling it the NTF Sigma singlet. Do we have anything else, mate?
No, that's good. I reckon.
You want to be working on some stuff for yourself though, but
Too
early to say.
Too early to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to pick anything up, use code podcast.
And other programs, running programs and
Athletic based. It's on the way.
Power building programs all on the way. Little tracker thing all on the way. Go get it. Code podcast. We get you 10% off, and we check all of those orders. Thank you very much. Back to the program.
I love the saying that I think it's in a Cat in the Hat book. There's no one newer than you know, and I think you can use that as your competitive advantage. If you are going to go into business, it's like, just keep being you as much as you can. Yeah. And it sounds weird, and a lot of us growing up don't really know who we are. That is a thing. But for me, it was like, it's easier not to wear, say, dunks to the football club, because I get weird looks every time I go. But if I wear them and I know that's actually what I like deep down, I think these shoes are dope. It doesn't matter if they become the next big shoe, or if they, are seen as the worst shoe ever. It doesn't matter, because I like them in that moment. But if I don't bring those to the club and I put on a pair of TNs or Vans or Converse, whatever it is, then I'm like giving up sort of on myself. Yeah. And I think that's a really big thing for young people, is like, embrace you and your upbringing, because like everyone's so, I've like taught to brothers, and my brother's like body slamming me from the WWE, and like there's all this like unique upbringing, like my family with their artwork, like where I go to other people's houses, I'm like, oh my god, like no one else has artwork in their house, and I'm different, and everyone's different, but embrace that. Yeah.
So like the creation of PushPull, so I mean, you obviously stuck with that mantra all the way through.
Yeah.
Did you ever find like it would, like you would get swayed a different way from like your personal way you wanted to go?
100%. I was swayed. I went into business and law straight away, and I finished the degree, 5 years, slogged it out, and I didn't mind it. It taught me sort of structure. I think it's a funny one. Like business, you need a form of discipline, like especially if you're taking it seriously, because it's all the cliches. You're your own boss. What that means is like when shit hits the fan, it's on you. So it's not like you're working at Macca's and you're like the 19th guy in the chain on like the burger flip. It's like, who fucked that up? I don't know, like
who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Let's get another one going, and no one knows how much that costs. But like when things go wrong, and you guys would have seen, it's like shit, those like t-shirts didn't sell and that cost us $1,000, and it's like, man, that was my $1,000. That sucks.
Look in the mirror.
Who
did that? Who's done that?
For sure, man. So I think if you haven't learned like the structure, discipline, I tie it back to school. The teachers were always like, write this in your diary, homework Tuesday. And I'd always just go like, pretend to write it, or, I'm just going to like COD tonight or some shit, like I don't give a shit. But then I'm like, that was one skill. I don't like the word regret, but I was like, damn, I wish I was like that organized guy, because I had to really work hard at that through uni and then through the business. And I'm still working on it today. It's where I fall down a lot of the time. Like, reminders on my phone are going crazy,
Yeah, it's good you're aware of it. I feel like that's a really common trait with creative people as well. Like it's the structure.
It is, yeah.
Let's go back.
Jesse, close enough to the mic, by the way?
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Oh, no, but I wanted to say, it's like that classic saying where it's like, oh yeah, I remember you saying it. He's good at business, but he's just lazy. Bro, that doesn't work. Like you can't be lazy and be good at business.
It's a common one, I reckon.
Yeah, it's like...
he's really good at business, like he's just a little bit lazy. It's people say that about it themselves.
Either you got to be like really creative and bring a partner in there that's like makes it happen. Or you got to have both traits yourself, I'd say.
Exactly. Let's go back to the start of PushPull, like the creation. I was under the impression 2 guys op shopping and then the inception of PushPull.
Yeah. So
where did it all start?
It was just like, as you know, I'm 20 years old and 19, I think, and just super wide-eyed, you know, coming from selling Louis Vuitton and fake, they were probably fake and fake watches. And, you know, like I'm just wide-eyed as hell, ready to start a business, kind of getting sick of uni. So I pretty much did the old call every friend in my contacts, like, hey, you want to run a business? Like, and everyone's hyped up. Oh, business, you know, like all that. Yeah. Like, let's go. And not having no idea that we're about to put in so much work and how hard everything is.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm glad like I went through that because, you know, that's where you learn everything. And all the, you know, younger people or anyone starting their first business that I speak to, I always try and nut that stuff out early because you just don't know until you've been through it. Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, so at about 20, called up a few friends. I should probably note that, you know, the guy that got me super into fashion, that wore the Dunks way before I did, his name's Pat Boyle. He works at Up There store now, if you guys ever heard of it. And he's a real funny character. Like he's the most unique guy like around. And he was wearing like, so he's like a massive sneakerhead. We're talking like 200 sneakers at his house at like 13. Like, I don't know where he got this money from, but he was just buying away. Like, it was insane. So he had like the best shoe collection ever. And this is like, sneakers did not get that big until like 3 years ago, like mainstream. Like you go to Chad's and you see 15-year-old girls wearing Dunks, like that kind of mainstream, you know. He was wearing Dunks when he was like 13 and like it was just like pretty much buying them straight out of like Japan, New York. So I would sit with him at school and just be like, this, like I was in awe, like what the hell are those like Nikes? I'd never seen that. And I would like, you know, chew the fat with him, and then he'd be like, oh, you know, I'll get you a pair of these, like. And so like he was definitely my catalyst. So I'm not going to pretend like I was him, but like I certainly looked at what he did and was inspired by it. There's no shame in that either.
Not at all.
You know, like that's, you see it so often in all industries, like people, it's like, it's kind of like imitation but like there's a respect. And I just took it, you know, he taught me a lot about like, cause you might ask yourself, how did you know what Nike stuff would sell? And like you just hang out with people that live and breathe that. Like he's watching YouTube. He didn't give one shit about school. Like one shit. Like he's just on like the iPad watching like the latest, you know, like skate competitions with all around like the latest Nike stuff. And he's like, he's the most like, he's watched every Seinfeld episode about 25 times. Like he's just like that guy.
Rare unit.
Real rare unit.
Love it.
Anyway, so he was my first guy like I contacted. I'm like, you know, we've been speaking about shoes and fashion forever. He's really like, and knows everything. So I needed him for all the resource and like, you know, the knowledge. So I was like, Pat, let's do this. He's like, done. And then we called up a few of our other friends that were into it. And so there was about 5 of us at the beginning. And for anyone like wondering, you know, they're wanting to start a business with friends, it seems really exciting. I don't advise going into business with 5 people.
Ooh, it's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
A lot of moving cogs.
Especially when the other 5 people haven't been in business either. It just means like, it's so raw. I can't really explain it. It's kind of like, it's really unique, but everyone was like super unaware of like time, effort, money, everything. So it was like a mess. And, you know, we did our best. And in our first year of PushPull, we went to 40 different events. So this is where I think the PushPull's DNA is just different to so many brands, because we literally met people. And I see you do it, like the local footy stuff is like, that stuff is amazing for long-term like growth and recognition, because you've really given to the community. You've been there, you've experienced it, and there's no substitute. I don't care how great your TikTok was. Like you either were at that football game or you were at the Camel Market at 6 a.m. when it was raining. Like, you know, like that shit's real. So we did that for 40 different events, and we only, you know, at the end of that year, we might've been on 2,000-3,000 followers. Like it was nothing like catastrophic, but they were real. And our engagement was crazy. Like still to this day, we had like 70% views on her story from our following.
That's like literally the best way how you can tell someone's pull. I know people with like 30k followers, they get like 2,000. It's like, be the same for you, but that is the best way to see someone's pull is story views. If they're like 100%. At least over 50%, if they got a big following, that is like huge.
100%. And especially as like a brand trying to sell you stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were just super passionate, and we tried a lot of different things. Like if you scroll down on PushPull today, like you see like we were doing like skits where we were just like screaming and carrying on and like doing really absurd stuff.
Yeah.
And some people loved it and some people were like, what the hell's going on? But the message, like the main thing here is we just tried a lot of stuff. And I think that's invaluable at the beginning, because if you're just starting off, how are you supposed to know what works? You're going to have no idea. So try a lot of different things. But yeah, so back to push-pull, 40 events in that first year. Like we did BTV and that.
Wow.
And that was crazy. Yeah.
Was that like a stall at BTV?
Yeah, so we had a stall there.
So smart.
That's sick.
But it was wild. Like people don't ever know the hard work put in. Like we drove up there. We're there for 5 or 6 nights because we had to set up a night or two early.
Yeah.
And we slept in this marquee that was like barely, like we'd never set up a marquee. Like we had to buy like a legit like $1,000 marquee because that had to have like proper paperwork that it wasn't going to collapse.
Was that the year it was boiling hot?
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was wild.
Yeah.
So like we're in this like shitty marquee that's like barely pinned to the ground because we have no idea what we're doing. And it's just like, I'll never forget, one of the boys forgot like half the pins or like whatever for the marquee.
One job, brother.
One job. We're 3-4 hours up there and we're like, just everyone's doing that face like, boiling point. And it's like, so there was so much shit that no one ever sees, right?
Yeah.
They just see like, oh, you know how great everything was on the surface. But a lot of boiling points. But that BTV was amazing, you know, like just people coming in like and just coming, we're giving away like, you know, relatively cheap. There was a lot of vintage still at that time, right? We had like, I don't know, 20 of our own t-shirts because we're so hesitant. What's funny is growing up, I never ever wanted to run my own clothing brand because I just thought it was like, the stigma to clothing brands is there's a really low barrier to entry, meaning you can find a white, black t-shirt, get it printed tomorrow, buy an ABN the next day, and within 3 days,
fashion,
you have a brand. Like you're literally a clothing brand owner. But that to me was like a turn off because so many people just go down that road of like, well, I'll just sell 100,000 t-shirts in 2 weeks and it'll all be easy. And then they do it. And it's like, this is the hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they don't have a proper like following or, you know, brand trust or whatever. So I was turned off by it, but it was just a natural progression through selling vintage and building this natural community. Then realizing at the end of that year with vintage, COVID hit and we couldn't do 40 events again. We lined up all these events. We're like, shit. And we realized it was pretty obvious we needed to start selling our own stuff because we couldn't find any more vintage.
So before that it was just vintage stuff.
Correct.
Like you found it at op shops and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
I went to America for one trip there and just bought like as much as I could carry. And that was the op shops in America, insanity. Like I was buying like $1 jumpers. Like it was wild.
Like all the varsity, like Nike,
everything,
college.
Nike, you name it. I'm just like, I was like tripping out. I was like North Face, like everything, Patagonia, every brand was like $2. Like, because I'd go there on like a Tuesday, I was like 50% off. They do crazy stuff in America. Yeah. Wow.
Did you get like an extra suitcase to bring?
Yeah. And like I was filling Dad's suitcase and he was about it, but like fuck, and we were like carrying everything. It was snowing, you know.
Did you go to like Melrose Avenue in LA?
Yeah.
It's cool. That's like the hub.
Yeah, man. It was special. I loved it. So there's so much love for vintage. So it was hard to leave that because like that was my DNA since 13 and I knew what worked. Like I could pick garments and sell them and it was an amazing feeling. You feel so like an expert. You're like, I knew that Patagonia would sell for $50 that I bought for $2 but it is a very, very hard model, you know, because you have to spend so much time finding garments and you don't get paid for that. So anyway, I knew I had to shift and COVID hit and the boys were all wide-eyed still and we pretty much had lost money at this point for sure because, you know, you had to pay for all those events and all the setup. And we're like, this has been really fun, but it's like probably time to split because like they need to work. And COVID kind of just like disrupted everything. But so essentially I paid everyone out at that time. It was like a thanks but no thanks type of thing. And I didn't get paid anything after a year of like full-time work. They're like, but you can keep the business. So I was like, okay, like this, I got to make something of this, right? I'm not going to waste a year of my life. And I met Vincent, who's now the owner, at 21st. And
really?
Yeah. And Vincent would always dress amazingly. Like whenever I'd see him, he was like, back to that, like follow your weird, you're unique. Like he would just wear like really like baggy, like 3XL t-shirts and shit. And like just different stuff. And like his sneakers were different. And I noticed it and I just went up to him and I'm like, you know, I know you're into fashion, like, and we're just chopping it up. And then I'm like, look, man, he kept an eye on what we were doing. And I was like, we want to move into like screen printing, doing our own stuff. I'm like, would you be down? And he showed so much initiative the next day, like we weren't even friends on Facebook and shit or like Instagram. He sends me a screenshot. It's like probably a request because I haven't followed him or whatever. And he's just bought like a $500 screen printer. He's like, let's go.
Oh, that's unreal.
I was like, this is the guy, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's keen as shit.
Yeah.
So within like a couple of weeks, we're in his garage like all the time, probably breaking a few COVID violations.
Oh, well.
Beep that out.
Yeah.
I think we did the same.
Yeah.
Don't worry. That's how 9 to 5 was started.
And the
That's
rest,
it.
mate.
That's where the hustle is, right?
This is backdated content is what we say.
Trying to justify it to
legit.
mum.
You're like, this was a year ago.
Yeah, justify it to mum and dad.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Man, for sure. So yeah, we were just in the garage just pumping away, and we were so lucky is like with COVID, you know, the government payouts to all like a lot of people, and then our garments just sort of started. There were a lot of loungewear like t-shirts and hoodies, and we literally, it was like timing is everything, and hence why like if you're young, like start today, because like I know it's cliche, but you make your own luck. Like I feel like we deserved what we got because we'd worked so hard for that first year, and I didn't even see $1 in that first year. But then I had this amazing opportunity of just like rapid growth. So I was like, shit. And, you know, Vince was like, this is amazing. But it wasn't, you know, we had to start with like, we're screen printing jeans and t-shirts, just like, we're even screen printing some of the vintage stuff because we were left over with a lot of it. Because, you know, it was a lot of inventory, like thousands of garments. So we're just printing on like Nike t-shirts, like push-pull.
Yeah.
And then you can market that as like once off, like
once
extremely
off.
rare opportunity for you to buy.
Yeah,
like
like
extra price.
Like Nike lawyers, don't look at this. Like just like smashing out that stuff, and then eventually we're like, let's actually do this on blank clothes because exactly if it's a Nike t-shirt, we don't have 10 Nikes.
Yeah.
So we only have one. So we then bought like I don't know 20 tees, started modestly, and just built it. Like we go shoot it on friends, you know, in COVID. Shit, I don't know how do we do that? I don't know.
Intimate partners.
Yeah. We became intimate with a lot of models.
Three boyfriends.
Yeah. A lot of partners.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just pumped that out, and we just were just held like just like flat out with like posting every day, and you know just getting it out. And I think people respect it. They're like, okay, like these guys are serious about what they're doing. And then you know that it's kind of like that energy thing. Then like other like people within fashion and like sports stars were like, I can see what this is doing, and then it just kind of just went crazy from there.
Yeah. If I think of push-pull, I think of community. How did you go about like really building that community, and when did it kind of click for you that wow, like we've created such an incredible thing?
It's a really good question. Look, it was natural because at the beginning we didn't know anything about business, so we didn't come here with like a blueprint like we'll build the community. We were just at so many public events that it was a real community from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, I remember you're at that event. And like when you're having that conversation, like that's a community-based thing. Like going to the Camberwell market is meeting the community. You're seeing grandmas, you know, 5-year-old kids, like it's a whole spectacle. So we were just naturally in that. And I think maybe after a year, that's why I was happy to pay everyone out, even in knowing, you know, I didn't see $1 because I was like, there is a community built here. And it was small, but that's all I need to see.
Yeah, mate, incredible.
I really like Jesse's point about how like there's such low barriers to entry for apparel. And you see like every Tom, Dick and Harry starting an apparel brand, which is awesome to see, and like literally no disrespect to anyone who does that. But I swear the hardest thing is to actually get product to shift. Because when you're buying these, like if you're buying in certain quantities, I know PushPull had absolutely no struggles with selling out, but like for us buying in quantities of 100 to 500 per item, and then you got colors and sizing.
Oh, it's difficult.
That's hard to move that kind of product. And if you're just starting out, like this is not to off-put you from hustling at all, but it is, I swear it's one of the hardest things. Like our programs had to hold us off for so long in terms of like making profit for the apparel to become profitable. And it's like until you develop that real cult following and really like establish your quality and the reason why people want to buy it, like it's seriously hard.
100%. I love this story. I caught up with a kid for coffee last week, and he's a real special kid. He's only 20 and he's been running a vintage company for 4 years. So he started at 16, and not only does he run a vintage company, he runs like vintage events. So like 20 local vintage brands will go to his event. It's like a little community thing, right? And he, at 16, so 4 years ago, we went to one of his events to sell our vintage. And at that stage, it was one of our first t-shirt runs. We were like, let's go print 20 t-shirts. and he's like, because everyone sees the glory of push-pull, like the sellout in 2 minutes and everyone wearing it in public. But I love what this kid said, because like that's all I ever hear. I don't hear about the hard times from anyone.
Yeah.
And he just goes, I got a story for you. He's like, I remember walking past the push-pull stand, and he's like, there was about 20 20 push-pull t-shirts on this rack. And he's like, what the hell? Like, he's like, no one touched it. Not only did not one sell, like no one even looked at them. They didn't want to like go near them. Like, it's like they had disease on them, you know what I mean? Because people are just so unwilling to like support, and that's fine. It just means you haven't put in enough value. You know, like you've got to make selling such like an undeniable thing that it's like, how would I not buy this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love that, because I was like, man, I forgot all about that. But that was so true. There was so many events where no one touched our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like I play footy out in the country, and like they don't even have Nike out there yet, mate. And people are walking around in fucking push-pull jumpers and stuff. Yeah. It's crazy.
We're huge in the country. I reckon like more than like half ourselves are in the countryside.
Yeah.
I've been learning like geography from like push-pull. Like I've never heard of these places, but it's dope. Yeah.
Your stuff is like so widespread. You see like girls wearing it as well as that Mr. Winston and everything like that. But like I swear you probably see it a lot more. But for like when I see someone wearing our stuff out, I freak out, bro. Like I've had people asking for photos and going up, and they're wearing the tank top or the trackies, and I'm like, bro, what the hell, that's so sick. Or like someone messages me being like, oh, I see all these people in the gym wearing like your stuff, and that's like the coolest feeling to know like you started that and now it's like becoming like more popular.
Oh, for sure, man. It's a crazy feeling. Like kind of like I get a little bit of like imposter syndrome, because I just never thought it. Like, I believed in it going big. But like when you start seeing it everywhere, and it's just like, wow, it's kind of overwhelming.
Well, it's full circle to what we were talking about before in that footy guy thing. Now every AFL player's wearing it. Like how's that been? I mean, for you, obviously it's great. But like, when did that first start happening? Kind of, was there a catalyst for it? Like when did it become really cool to like be seen in push-pull?
There was like, you know, Vincent played a really high level of football, so we were lucky that he was like right in the circles with a lot of guys. And that got us, you know, a big foothold. But I never forget in COVID, shout out to Christian Petrarca. He was like,
yeah, that's exactly what comes to mind.
Yeah, he was like the first guy to like really embrace it. He DM'd us and we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because like I thought about DMing him for like a year, but back to like giving value, I knew we were too small. I was like, why is he gonna like want to wear our stuff when we haven't really done anything, you know? I was like, so you got to be like honest with yourself. You know, you got to put in the work to get great results. It's like, I don't know, maybe the gym, it's like, you're not going to be looking amazing if you go in there once a week. Like, be honest with yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just how life is. So yeah, he reached out, and we were still screen printing our own stuff at the time. And he was in the COVID lockdown season. So he sent it up to the hub. And he put up some photos. I think Nike got a little bit mad because he was tagging us. And he was like, shit. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, but it was such a big help, man. And he's like pretty, like, talk about sneakerheads. Like, he owns a lot of shoes. He's got a TN tattoo on his leg.
Really?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he loves sneakers. So that was massive for us. But you know what? Like, people trip up a little bit in that stuff because it only worked because, like, we were like a perfect match, if that makes sense. Like, you know, he's like so into, it's like all real for him. Like, he's really into sneakers. He's got like that TN tattoo, and we were like super like, you know, authentic. But if we did that a year before, it just would be like, well, wait, what is this brand? Because we weren't, you know, we hadn't hit our straps. So as much as, like, you know, I speak to these young brands and that is one of their questions and their eyes light up, like, how do you get all the sports stars to wear your stuff? It's kind of like, when you're ready, it'll happen. Don't think about strategies. Like, he hit us up. Do you know what I mean? And like, we'd hit up a lot of, it's not like we didn't hit up people. I'm not trying to act cool, but I'm saying for like those great moments, like, they'll actually occur naturally.
Yeah. Oh, mate, for sure. It's like what you guys have created is so incredible. Like, you should be so proud of it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Moving on, like you're no longer with PushPull.
Yeah.
How's that like come to fruition? And obviously incredibly exciting things to come. What's on the horizons? And more, we'll start with like, you're no longer with PushPull. How long ago was that you exited?
So it was probably about 4 or 5 months ago. Off the top of my head. It was really tough, man. I think, you know, people talk about their businesses, especially their first ones, like their baby. But I find that weird because everyone that says I don't think's had a baby, nor have I. But you kind of resonate with it. You're like, yeah, it is like a baby, I guess. And I mean, 3-4 years of nurturing this thing and writing those like low points where no one touches your clothes at an event to like, is this going to work? Like, you know, am I an idiot? You know, like, am I doing this and it's never going to work? You know, feeling those emotions to like having, people come up in the street and seeing all these sports stars in it and going like, holy fuck, like this is crazy. So I rode all those waves. For me, to be honest, it was like, it's a lot deeper than just like the business stuff. Like with my family, unfortunately, both my parents got really sick at the end of 2021. So I was just like going through a lot, you know, like they both got cancer. So it was really ferocious, and like the lockdowns, and I was just kind of like just riding a lot of waves. And it doesn't excuse like the business stuff. Like, you know, you should be able to rock up to like your business and act a certain way, but I was just struggling, you know, and I haven't been super vocal about it because I don't know how to like go about that, you know, like,
it's difficult.
It's like, you know what I mean? I'm not here to get attention or anything, but on the same token, when you go through those things, it's like they're real and they do impact your life, and
hugely.
And the boys in the business were like unbelievable like supports. You know, they were like bringing lasagna to my house and, you know, calling me all the time, making sure I was okay. So it's like from that standpoint, you know, that's us bigger than business, and that's when, you know, they were there for me the most. So that it's all love between us, you know. Like, when I think about that stuff, it's sweet. From a creative direction, we just had differences. Like that's the best way to put it. I like where I'm going and what I want to do is like I really believe the clothing market, like the blank clothing, wholesale, like AS Color, Gildan, all those types of brands. I don't think they do streetwear very well. I think it's like super conservative, old fashioned. Like the garments are super thin. Like the quality shit, the cottons are shit. So I put in a lot of work with a new partner to just, you know, get the price points relatively cheap and have the quality seriously high. And I think because where I got the idea from is when I was working at PushPull, you know, there's always, you know, the next kid coming up, just going like, where do you get your clothes from? Yeah. And you get it, like everyone's been asked the question, right? And the reason they're asking that question is because there's no fucking brand to go to that has good clothes. And not to go on a tangent, but I think that's one part of the story. I think the clothing is very important, but the second part is that I do love building communities, and I think there's a huge community to be built.
And you're good at it.
Yeah. So all these like old school brands that are, you know, selling everyone t-shirts, they don't offer a service. They just sell you t-shirts, and it's like, piss off, good luck, go do your thing. And you're like, I don't even know like how to get these screen printed or how to market them. What do I do? And it's nerve wracking. Like, you know, when you go through it, you guys were just saying before, Gabe literally just said it was the hardest thing that he's like experienced. So we want to nurture people on a Facebook group, and have people come in, like all creators, like, you know, you guys would be right there with like, you know, what you do, and just help people out. And like, and you watch like it raise all the ships, you know, like if you guys are like hosting like a pop-up or whatever one day and like you're in this group, I expect like majority of these people to rock up, just everyone supporting. And
I presume you'd be under the mentality, it's like, no, we're not going to give you the answers, but we'll help you like get there with your hustle. Because what I really don't like is when people just want the answer, like, where do you get your shirts? It's like, all right, mate, here's the supply, here's the details, here's how much you pay. He's undercut us. This is exactly what you need to do. I don't rate that. No. I rate like more guiding, and you need your own hustle to get there, which I'm sure you're kind of trying to do as well.
I want to go deeper on that. Like the truth to what you've just said is, like, if you are that kid that's asking or whoever, it's like you don't want all those answers because you haven't put in the work. It's back to going, like, if you would get a six-pack at the gym from one day of work, it's like, you don't want that. That's not real life. And we all want that, right? We all want that one day quick thing, but it doesn't hold you in good stead long term. Like, you're going to get twisted and think everything comes easy. You know, we can all attest that all this shit is so difficult, man. So fucking hard.
I'm not sure if you were the same, but like the year we spent getting samples down, we spent thousands of dollars. Man. And the first samples we spent like $300 USD on.
It's the most demoralizing thing in my life.
So you guys like the perfect like people that have been through this, and it's real. You know, like whenever I bring this up to people, their eyes are like, oh my God, like it's so shit, this process. And it doesn't have to be this shit. Yeah. You know, like, don't get me wrong.
Just getting scammed.
Yeah, man. It's and like the you know, if you're going over like so
check your cameras.
Yeah,
keep talking.
Australia is obviously very expensive for like clothes, so it's hard to buy here, which is unfortunate because like you'd love to support it. But when you go overseas, like the communication's horrible, and like you can't be sure about much.
Well, that was it for us, was the breakdown of communication, and we want this, we want that, and getting like we wanted shorts and we'd get a fucking bear suit.
Yeah,
how did you come up with that? Like,
man,
but yeah,
it's so yeah, that's where I'm headed, and I think that was a big thing because I saw that and I thought we could potentially do that at PushPull.
Yep.
And the boys, rightly so, were like, we have a brand, we have a community, in another area. So just things like that, really.
So it was like the creative difference was more like they wanted to keep doing the limited release, whatever design, this amount every Wednesday, but you wanted to possibly provide like an intermediary service or a guiding thing.
Yeah.
Was there not like a chat about, let's do both, because that's kind of more back end stuff, I'd imagine,
right?
And the front is building that hype.
Yeah, so like definitely we would have done both. I think it's just to be honest, it's like this, like any small business or any idea, and I've known going in the last 5 months putting the work on this new business idea, it's like there was no way we were juggling that with the team we had. We would have needed double, triple the team, because it's just, I've had to fly to Vietnam for a month to like figure that out, and like that would have just put so much strain on the other operation. Just all those areas, right? So it's a full-time gig. But yeah, it was unfortunate. And I think at the end of the day, from like a chemistry standpoint, what I've reflected on is like everyone in that business is so creative that we're all so similar, like we're all having like 1,000 thoughts, me probably the most, just being too chaotic, like, let's do this. Oh my God, we can do this. And everyone's like, chill, like, why don't we just sell these hoodies that are going amazingly? I'm like, I don't know, I want to do more. And it's like a blessing and a curse. It's like, it's why I'm here, but it's also kind of burnt me as well. So I'm just learning that.
Did like footy players, when they quit footy and stuff, they suffer like a huge identity loss. Did you ever kind of go through that process, especially with leaving PushPull? Like I could only imagine it would be difficult when you hear about, like when we're talking about it, and it's like, it's so impressive. Like continuing on from that, did you suffer like an identity loss, really and how did you work through that?
Yeah, I mean, like probably the biggest identity loss I've ever suffered was football. So I was in an under 18s like TAC program, got cut. It was like the end of my life. I'll never forget it. I was like, my whole life just caved in. And but like there was probably remnants or like elements of that with the push-pull thing. I've grown up a lot, I think, through my family's stuff over the last year. My perspectives have been clearer. Oh,
mate, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm a big proponent of environment. And I just think with push-pull at that time, I just need to like refresh. And that, that for whatever reason, like I hadn't left Victoria in 3 years. Like I was so just like narrow-minded and working like chaotically. And I just, it was intense. The social media is so, we try to respond to like every single DM, and like there's days where we get like over 1,000 DMs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
And, it's stupid that like we're doing that, but like that's how the brand's been like founded, right? So, I'm at home like trying to care for my parents and stuff, but I'm DMing and my mind's scattered. Yeah. And I was just like, I just don't know if I can continue this. But super difficult because like, what we'd built, and with those boys who are like, we're like brothers. So it was definitely difficult. But look, at the end of the day, I'm really excited about what's ahead. Big thing for me is when I reflected, I was like, I love helping people. And like, that's the value I love giving. I get so excited when I can tell a young kid, don't go into business with 5 people because it's going to be chaotic. And if he can take value from that, whether that's right or wrong, who knows? It might work for him. He might grow a brand 10 times the size. But I like to think some of the stuff I've been through the hard way, and even literally up until leaving PushPull, I can give value to people. And hence why I want to run this group, because every conversation I've had, there's been so much great value from my half and their half. Everyone's just got great stories, and I think we can bring people together.
I'm so excited for what's to come. I've seen like on your Instagram, great Instagram, by the way, you should follow him at Jesse Toniolo. Like you're catching up with a lot of kind of young entrepreneurs. Yeah. We've spoken about it a little bit. Are you kind of looking to work with them, or is this like, just kind of building the community which you have already created?
It's a bit of both, like I think ultimately every creative I've spoke to pretty much would, so when we have our blank clothing ready, like I think majority of them would use it because it's definitely going to be superior to what's there. But that's not the reason I'm meeting up. Like I'd love to hear, the barriers they're facing. And I think, shout out to Mr. Beast. I don't know if we've got some YouTubers out there, but he said on, I think, Joe Rogan, he's like,
great podcast.
Such a good podcast. He's like, the fact that people don't look for mentors is like mind boggling. He's like, they can literally save you years.
Yeah.
Years of like fucking
Truly.
around. So, you know, it's just like, it's not easy and it's awkward putting yourself out there. But I think if you do, like, and it's pros and cons. It kind of comes back to not getting everything given to you like on a silver platter. But a good mentor's not going to do that.
Yeah.
They're going to like tell you maybe steer away from that, focus more on that. They're not going to give you the formula. There is no formula, right? It's just hard work. And I know this all sounds so cliche, but it's the truth.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. With your new venture, are you like, we talk about content creation and kind of how that's accessible to everyone, and it's almost ridiculous not everyone goes into it. Is that going to be like a large portion of your business, and like will you kind of really delve into that aspect?
Definitely. Like, I think with the brands we work with, we want to teach them like, you know, how to build communities, how to interact on social media. And you guys are, you know, awesome at that. And if you guys were to join this group, I'd love for you guys
Lock
to
us in, mate.
Yeah,
Lock
done.
us in.
Got the voice.
Yeah.
Like you guys could show like what works for you. And, you know, I think there's so much to learn. And at the moment, like, it's so rapid. You have apps like Be Real, Instagram changing their algorithms all the time. You've got TikTok having stories. Like, there's always a new thing. And it's like rapid. And it's hard. Like, no doubt being across all of it as an individual is like probably impossible. So to be in a group with people that might specialize, like I've been looking a lot into LinkedIn lately. Just like, I thought it was like for
His
just.
mum's famous on it.
Is she? Shit.
Yeah.
I'll have to connect.
Shout out.
I'll have to have like a new podcast. No, it's I think LinkedIn I thought was just like a white collar, like if you're not wearing a suit, you're not wanted there. I'm like trying to change that.
Yeah.
Trying to have conversations like this with people, meet new people. I think organic reach, like on LinkedIn you can post and it hits a crowd you never knew.
Legit.
I think that's where opportunities are. Where like when you're posting on Instagram, you can grow obviously, but most of that is like 80-90% of people that already know who you are. So I guess like TikTok, you know, organic reach, you just hit all these new crowds. It's so amazing. And like back to your point, that's why I think young people should be putting themselves out, because you never, like when we grew up, you didn't have that organic reach. You were just posting to the same Tom, Dick and Harry, and like you're hoping they would share your thing maybe. But now it's like, it's easier than ever to grow big. I spoke to the Mercha boys, shout out to them, and they blew me away because they remind me so much of PushPull and what they're doing, and they've just been going super hard on TikTok for like 6-12 months, and where they've grown, they've like doubled our growth trajectory just through that. Crazy.
What have they, so this is a clothing brand and they've done through TikTok.
Yeah.
What kind of numbers are we talking in 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, so I thought they've been around for like 2 years, but they said about 12 months or even less, and they're on about, I don't know their TikTok following, but their Instagram following is at like 5,000
Okay.
in like 6 months to 12 months. Like that's absurd.
Yeah, it's impressive, especially for a clothing brand.
Yeah, and starting off, like no one supports what you do for like a year. That's just a rule, you know?
No, you got to hate it.
Yeah, you got to hate it first.
You got to be hated.
You got to really hate it. Yeah, you got to leave comments.
How dare they?
Yeah.
Put themselves out there.
100%. But yeah, so like even just hearing guys that are doing it, and I'm like, you know, awesome. There's so much opportunity.
So what about like young people who are wanting to put themselves out there and stuff? Like, what are your tips for them? How did you go about like not listening to the, you know, status quo and pushing on with, you know, your creative side?
I think like you just find your niche. Like I've seen with you guys, like you found creators that resonate with you, and like if you guys didn't go down your path, you would have never found them. So it's almost like, yeah, there is that awkward barrier to cross where you got to maybe leave the old group or whatever you want to call it. But you're going to a more like truer version of yourself. And like the creatives I've been able to hang out with is just, you know, astounding. And I like, it's probably the favorite thing definitely about any business that I'm in is just, I love hence building all these communities. I just want to hear people's stories, what gets them going. Because I learn so much too, you know. And, you know, if I can give value to them and, you know, it's just, I just love learning really.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, mate, do you have anything else?
Yeah, no, I do.
You do?
Wait, on this topic or
on anything? Yeah,
well, we
go
need
on.
to do the sponsors, mate.
Oh, we do.
Jeez, someone's got. That's what we're saying. You know, you can't be lazy. You need that one person.
You do.
Keep kicking in the business.
I'm too
stuff,
locked
mate,
in.
Structure.
I'm too
I know,
locked
it's been
in.
such a good chat. It'd almost be offensive to plug sponsors in, but we do because we're contractually obligated and we actually do believe in them and keep the roof over the head, mate.
Tomorrow skincare.
Yeah, you can start, mate.
We love them. We love Tomorrow Skincare. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Our code has been blowing up lately. And
Oh yeah, I'm probably not meant to say this, but I put it on my Snapchat last night. You guys used our code so much that they paid us a bonus.
they're literally keeping a roof over our head.
They paid us a bonus on top of. So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, well, keep using code NTF.
Keep doing it because I want a bonus next month as well.
Yep.
Because we got some exciting stuff we're using the money for.
But it does. We
it's
love
not
it.
like a rubbish. That's why it's such an easy plug, because I got to make sure the read's actually professional.
Yes.
Okay. Really, really do like the product because it keeps my skin clear. And I can't do it, mate. You do it.
We're not cutting any of this out. No, we love Tomorrow Skincare. They've been fantastic to us, supported us from day one, and they have elite products. It's the best quality skincare that I've ever used personally. We get the Essentials collection. It has the foam cleanser, structure serum, the toner, or the liquid toner, and the gel moisturizer. You should get all four because it's going to help your skin. And if you're still buying stuff off the rack from Coles, this will trump it easily.
Yeah, so if you want to be like extra handsome, please get the Essentials bundle. Use code NTF, you'll get 20% off. Thank you, Tomorrow Skincare. We love you very much.
We love you, Tomorrow Skincare. Next up, we got Manscaped. Just buy it.
Just buy it.
Just
Bro,
buy
I
it.
used the new razor on my legs.
Yeah.
But my hair was too long. So I recommend using the trimmer first and then doing the razor.
Chop through it.
But I used like the whole bottle of shaving gel just because I need to get it all on my legs.
Yeah.
So you got to sort that out. But I definitely recommend the new razor because you get a way more vascular look.
Yep.
Than just the lawnmower, I reckon.
Absolutely. Totally
Have you
agree.
used it yet?
No.
What about the new exfoliator?
I haven't used it yet.
Have you used anything, mate?
I've been
Do you even
flat
like the
out.
products?
I love the products, but
Yeah.
I love the lawnmower 4.0. That is my favorite, and you should get one too.
Okay, cool. Use code NTF. You'll get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com.au.
Great work, mate. You did well.
Thanks.
Jesse, where can people find you? What can people do? I want to buy into Jesse Toniolo stocks. If we could buy you, I'd be.
We're Lambo.
I'm
Lambo.
putting chips in
To the moon. No, you guys can find me on Instagram, Jesse_Toniolo. So
Yep.
name's a bit tricky. That's TONIOLO.
Yep.
LinkedIn, I'm there now.
Shit, yeah.
I'm wearing a singlet in my DP. I'm trying to change it up.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, little singlet, no suit.
What type of singlet? We're talking, politically correct, a beater?
A beta, yeah.
Yeah. How cool are
Not
they?
a beta. And what else? That's probably it. And then the business that we're going to coin, it's going to be called Color Plane.
Yep.
You heard it here first, and the group chat's going to be called Color Plane Community.
Color Plane.
That's cool.
Community.
Is it got Facebook? Is it going to be on?
Yeah, it's going to be on Facebook, the group. Yeah.
You'll be announcing that all through your Instagram and stuff.
Correct.
That's where we can get involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic, mate. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, guys.
It was
I really
unreal.
enjoyed this chat. Thanks so much, Jesse.
Thanks, guys.